What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Little Scale Cars YouTube channel. Today in the review box, we have the Porsche 911 Rally, aka the Porsche 911 Dakar, new for Hot Wheels Mainline 2024. So let's take a closer look at this one, as it was pretty hard to find, and see if it is worth tracking down to add to your collections. So let's get things started by taking a look at our casting. So, proportionally speaking, everything's looking pretty good. Nothing's really looking wildly off. Let's go ahead and pop the real-life car up in the top right-hand corner there so you can get a little bit of a comparison. And while the proportions are pretty good, as you can see, I will say the scaling seems a little bit off. This is a little bit smaller than the typical 911 offering from Hot Wheels, which is a little bit unfortunate, but not maybe the end of the world. So when we actually take a deep dive into our casting here, we can see that this thing is engineered in a very unique way that's pretty cool. So the luggage up here, this is all going to be a piece of the window, while the kind of luggage rack itself is a piece of the main body, the casted in metal bits. When we look up here, we can see that this bumper section with the grille and all that, that is a piece of, I believe, the interior. These wheel arches are that same piece of plastic, I think the interior, and then even this like rear bumper area back here, this is also a piece of what I believe to be the interior. So that's really cool. Meanwhile, the base is going to be on the skirt here, and then it's going to be like this brush guard kind of skid plate kind of thing. And then back here, it's going to be our exhaust and diffuser-ish looking areas. Where our actual casted body, we are going to get some mirrors. You're going to get all your body lines as you'd want to see them. The rear wing is going to be here. This back area textured nicely. Up front, these kind of venti thingies are casted in and looking good. And then, as far as up front, this is not part of the main body, but it is textured and looking good. So overall, casting-wise, is very unique and very nicely done. Paint and deco. So, taking a look at our paint and deco, the main body is this nice creamy kind of gloss white, which looks really cool. And then our accent colors are the Rough Roads Porsche kind of livery going on with the blue, red, and gold accents. This particular blue is like really nice. It's almost got like a metallic-y sheen to it, and it looks really nice. The accent pieces also complement it, looking good. I think this is the absolute best choice they could have gone with for the initial release. I don't think anyone would really argue with that. And the execution of it really came out strong. I really like this, and I think it looks really good. Moving into our details. So starting right up front here, happy to report we do get headlights. They are just a tampo, so it is possible that down the road we could get this without. I have seen a few complaints about these that they might be too small, and I could see that, but personally I don't think that they look bad. I like them. Up front we do get a Porsche logo as well, and that is just about it as far as our tampo work goes. Again, this is nicely detailed though. Making your way down the sides, we do get these wheels that are, semi-accurate to the real-life car. They bear a close enough resemblance that I think that they were a good choice. And then painting them white, again, a good choice. I think it looks really good. When we make our way down to the back here, you can see that we do not get the taillight section tampoed on. Kind of understandable, but a little bit disappointing nonetheless. And then making your way to the roof rack here, this looks pretty good. There's not a ton of crazy detailing or anything, but overall it does look pretty good. Moving into our roll test. This being a mainline, it should be no surprise that it rolls, and it rolls extremely nicely. I went ahead and put this one on the scale, and it comes out to be 26.62 grams, which is very light. I did mention this is a little bit smaller than the typical 911 casting, so that's going to play a part in the weight. But then also this kind of way they engineered it where it's actually quite a bit of plastic kind of throughout. I think that is playing a part as well. But that is so nicely engineered that I really don't have any complaints, even though it is a little bit light. Pros and cons, getting started with our pros. This is going to be the cheapest way to get a Porsche 911 Dakar into your collections. So what we know is that we have a Mini GT available, and I think there is a Sparky available, and then we have this Hot Wheels. We know there's a Matchbox, I believe, moving parts coming down the road, but all of those are still going to be more expensive than this one at the $1.25-ish price point, so that's pretty cool. The other big pro is going to be the deco work on this one. I really, really like how this came out. It's not perfect, especially in spots. There are a few little blips or mishaps, but overall, I think it looks really, really good deco-wise. For our cons, though, there's only one that I'll mention, and you already know what it's going to be, and that is going to be the lack of rear tampo work. Again, with the deco being as nice as it is, this one does not bother me personally, especially with this one probably being super easy to make a water slide decal of if you really want a taillight back there. That being said, though, I have a personal con that I won't list it as an official con because this is probably just my opinion and I'm probably in the minority with this opinion. I wish they had not given it a roof rack. I wish it had just been a clean, nothing on the roof kind of look. That's just me personally. I think it would have looked nicer that way, but I get why they did not go that route. For some quick size comparisons, here we have it with a couple other Mattel offerings, with the Porsche 911 GT3 from Hot Wheels, and the Porsche Carrera 4S from Matchbox Moving Parts. And here we have it with some premium Porsche offerings, with the Porsche 911 GT2 RS from Mini GT, and the Porsche 911 RSR GTLM from Sparky. And with all of that out of the way, it is now time to find our overall score. The hype level for this one, I'm going to give it a 9.6 out of 10. There was a lot of excitement for this one, and with it coming out so good, it was pretty hard to find. Execution, I'm going to give it a 9.8 out of 10, and the really only docking spot is the scaling. I think that the scaling being so small is really kind of a big disappointment. Community input gave this one to the council. Here are their results. Again, the scaling came up for some people. The headlights being too small was a thing for some people. And again, the lack of taillights were all places where the community docked this one. But overall, that score is going to end up being an 8.9 out of 10. When we take these three scores, average them out, we are going to end up with a 9.43 out of 10, which is a great score for a good little casting here. It is nearly perfect as far as the deco-wise goes. I do wish the scaling had been done ever so slightly bigger, but it's really not the end of the world. Especially at the mainline price point, like $1.25, this looks really good. This looks so good, in fact, that I have decided not to get the Mini GT release. I'll be honest with you guys, I'm not really a giant Porsche fan, so any chance I can to save some money, I'm going to take it, and this is one that I am going to take because as much as I like the 911 Dakar, this one is good enough for me, in my opinion, to keep this as the only version of it in my collection. So with that, I'll get a couple more decos of this, but I will be passing on all the premium versions. So with that being said, with that praise listed out, I feel like it should be pretty obvious that this one is absolutely worth adding to your collections, and I definitely think that this particular deco and this particular release is worth adding, because I think this one will be highly sought after down the line, and you will regret it if you do not pick it up. And with that, guys, that is all I have for this review. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you leave a like, subscribe if you are new and this is your first video, and make sure you leave a comment down below telling me what your thoughts are on this particular model, and I will see you in the next video.